This for the niggas and bitches and niggas who be hitting them switches and pulling them triggers, who be crumbling weed and rolling them swishers. Keep on banging on corners and drinking that liquor. Keep that thug shit real when you fucking with me. Keep your sights on steel when you gunning for me. I put my pistol in your mouth and tell your ass to goggle. Gangsta shit so potent it should be sold in bottles. Take a sip and go to hell, get drunk and then end up in the trunk. Fuck jail, you think it's DUI? No, that ain't how you die. It was my thugs and slugs that was the reason why. You niggas thought I was soft, but now it's blood that you caught. And now these shells hit the ground as I'm busting off. 9 double in Beretta, no there's nothing better. Tear the flesh in your chest and now your shirt is wetter. Me and this wild wild together like we husband and wife. This gangsta shit ain't just a song, it's a way of life. We are the hustlers. We're born to die. When it all goes down, niggas. When it all goes down, talk to me. We also for money, for bitches and get high. When it all goes down, niggas. When it all goes down, talk to me. Yellow tape and bloodshed, pussy niggas is dead. Hollow points tipped with lead, putting gaps through heads. That's what it be like when the street lights get to flickering. Niggas get to bickering and slugs get to tickling. We them niggas that just don't ask. We take your cash, transplant or put in your ass. Right hand to your left eye. Hey, Mr. Tough Guy, when slugs fly, I guarantee your shirt won't dry. In times of peace, my niggas playing wars. Stack dope, sit mowing, then we bang whores. We been through gang wars. We bout that green, we bout that murder scene. Pull a tool that's sure to leave your shoulders clean. Cause when it all goes down, I got that heat. You was slow on the drawing, now you worm me. Because we are the hustlers. Y'all niggas ain't shit but wannabes and slugs. But not for my fucking enemies, it's blood. For my niggas, I was sure to bleed my blood. For my niggas, I was sure to bleed. It's Gio, the same nigga that was ready for war, ready for fame and everything it had in store. And I ain't changed, I'm still on the block with my dog. Smoking weed, busting shells, leaving the block for the fall. For my niggas who didn't get to see me achieve. Some died over beef and some died over greed. I'm smoking weed, I'm trying to get rid of the pain. Lord, please bless me to continue my thing. I'm from the streets, and it's been a hard knock life. I'm in it deep, and that's why I don't think nice. I don't sleep, and that's why I don't like lights. I hold heat, and that's why you won't blink twice. We are the hustlers. We're born to die. When it all goes down, talk to me. We also for money, for bitches and get high. Little bitch ass niggas can't hang with me. Why be the hood of the no good? Breaking your studio niggas down to the flow wood. I'm here to check the game, nigga, respect the name. Or I'ma pull my 4-5 out, select the brain, inject the pain, and leave you for the news to cover. Another victim of Mac Lover, wild motherfucker. Y'all ain't never seen a motherfucking street like me. Ballin' from the Midwest, bringing heat like me. So niggas make way, cause I'ma bring it to you hard. No mercy on your mark, so bow down to my facade and feel the pressure. A real thugs from the streets, we do what we wanna do. Nigga, fuck the police, I'm the mouth of madness. Bringing the pain and the sadness, I be the baddest. Smoking niggas to the ashes, Alpha and Omega. Spitting raw from thug data. Dark as Darth Vader with the strength of the creator. Sharing out the show. When it all goes down, nigga. When it all goes down, talk to me. Yes, I'm so my oh my. Give me sipping on any, sex not skinny, cash got plenty. Make it any, sipping on Remy. Yes, I'm so my, fuck, give me, sipping on Henny, sex not skinny,
me, got the munchies like my name was Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh my goodness. I got to be tweaking. When I'm hungry, I be sleeping. When I'm sleepy, I be eating. Oh my goodness. I got to be gone, cause I'm smoking on a blunt, and I swear it was a bone all night long. Been going right but wrong, and I f this little but can't find her thong. And I know I got some more somewhere over here, over there in my drawers. Oh no, oh yeah, smoke another blunt, and I swear I be can tell by the smell and the shade of my eyes.
Yes, I'm so my oh my forgive me, sipping on any sacks not skinny, cash got plenty, taking any sipping on Remy. Yes, I'm so my oh my forgive me, sipping on any sacks not skinny, cash got plenty, taking any sipping on Remy. What you need, Hennessy. Sip that and hit that, and it'll set you free. It's all about unity in this smoking community. Yeah, we all soon to be like a balloon. You see, as I roll me a blunt, I'ma light the front. Cause it's wild, wild crunk, ain't no punk. Mac love be the gift when it comes to a split. Sipping the fifth for the thick, thicky chick on my hip. And billions I bone out, getting as zoned out. The streets just stoned out with nicknames like Strong Mouth. This shy dro, I get you slow, make your eyes closed, keep it wide nose. As the room filled with smoke, a head's choke. You on like a coke,
okay.
Flow like a boat. They deep throat as I stack C notes, baby. Here we go. High like an ego, we smoking people, and that's okay. Run it out in my Chevy, cause that be my way. Nigga stop cheaping, baby, that be the day. As I roll down my window and proceed to say, hey, yes, I'm so high, my, forgive me, sipping on any, tax not skinny, cash got plenty, ass can get any, sipping on Remy. Yes, I'm so high, my, forgive me, sipping on any, tax not skinny, cash got plenty, take it any, sipping on Remy. Now I got one rule for you, when you smoking my shit. It's puff, give, then it's puff on my dick. Polish my then brush off your knees. Give me something to eat, then you smoke more weed. Yeah, now you may think I'm bogus, but when it comes to y'all get greedy,
all right,
y'all
let's
know
go. I got it all done. We're gonna cut this, and we're gonna get it cracking.
I ain't support your habit. Now don't get me wrong, I ain't cheap, cause I was down by the pound, back love cheap. Smoking is what I do. I smoking
Y'all looking for me, cause I'm looking for y'all. Put y'all motherfucking hands together. Let's go. Here I is. Hey, here I is. Yes, sir. Here I is. I'm feeling good tonight. I'm feeling good tonight. Nigga, I just might start a fight. Well, here I is. Here I go on another phone. And this is the relationship we have shown. I'm up in here about to do my fucking thing. And we gonna talk about a few different things. I'm gonna put this shit on the fucking phone. And I don't know if I'm gonna say any more, but I can. So I'ma keep doing it until I fuck up to the point where it's just shit, but it ain't. So I'ma bring it back. I'm gonna sound good cause I never come whack. I'm from the shy, 12 deuce, 12 trays. Low down, bitch. Wild is what we say. Y'all better watch out. Y'all better duck down. Cause when I come through, I'm coming with my blocks out. I'm real thug. Alright, that's it. Yo, what's up, y'all? Look, I'm feeling good tonight. I have had a good day. I done got my workout on. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all don't know this about me. Let me be a little transparent here. For those of you who know me personally, y'all already know. But for those of you who don't know me personally, in my family, in my crew, I am the Black Bobby Flay. I'm a motherfucking chef. I can cook some shit now. I can cook my ass off. Now, for some odd reason, I can't fry shit too good. My wife do that. My wife is a motherfucking, she a primo. Shout out to you, baby. She's a primo fry. She can fry some fish. She can fry some chicken. She can fry some pork chop. All that shit, she's good at it. I mean, she stand at the stove and fry like a Ursha. Got her hand behind her back and just fry like a Ursha. But all that other shit, your boy. What did you pop the collar? Your boy. So today, I actually last week I went. Well, no, not last week. Over the weekend, I went out and got some fresh pig, like from a black farmer. I ain't never met no real black farmer. I mean, this brother actually grow shit. Black farmer. The dude name was Joe Collins, and the dude went and he got curly mustard and giant collard greens. So he grew them down in somewhere in Texas, but he brought them up into the Dallas area. So I went and I got some. Now I only spent, about maybe $30 or something like that, but it was a shitload of greens. And I'm cooking greens for Christmas dinner, but I literally had like 2 garbage bags, black garbage bags, the ones you put body parts in. Like when you chopping up a body and you got to go dump it in the cow set. Let me shut the fuck up. But when the 2 big black garbage bags, they had greens in them. So my wife is the green picker. Yeah, I cook the greens. She pick and clean the greens. That's how I go. She's a sous chef. I am the chef. And my daughter and anybody else that's in the kitchen, they prep cooks. That's how we break that shit down. But that's some old family shit. But I had a ton of greens. I mean, a shit ton. And I had to call my mom. I said, Mom, I got all these fresh picked greens, but I don't know what the hell to do with. I said, I got to freeze them some kind of way. But I knew that I couldn't just put them greens like in a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer. You have to do, I have collards and I had mustard and turnips. I got a special mix that I do for my greens. I ain't gonna tell y'all that, but I can tell you that's what I had. But I said, Mama, I don't know what to do with these greens. I got to do something with them. She was like, well, what you got to do is blanch them. I said, blanch? I said, that's the bitch off of Golden Girls. What the fuck she got to do with this? That bitch ain't eating none of my greens. My wife ain't gonna let me have no other bitch up in this house eating some greens that we don't know. But that's not what happened. But she said, blanch them. And I thought about it. I said, shit, I've never blanched anything before. So I had to go. My wife put facts. Now, baby, you can pick us a sister wife, but hey, I'm just saying. I know ain't no old bitch named Blanche gonna be off up in here. But I had to go and I had to learn how to blanch greens. So I cooked what I was gonna cook, which is a nice size pot. Got a stock pot about that many greens in there. Oh, and they so good. I told my wife, if you taste some of the greens, baby, I said when you use the fork, be sure to only get greens because my drawers is in there. And you don't want to take them out. Okay, because I didn't put my foot in there. I put my drawers in there. I'm telling you, them greens are so good. But I had the rest of these greens I had to like do something with. So I learned how to blanch greens today. It was very good, very educational, very educational. So I blanched the collards and I blanched my other green mix that I had, got them in the freezer. So we're good. We are on course for Christmas dinner. So, like I said, I feel good today. And I'm telling you, I had 2 shows still lined up. I still got this breakdown I got to do about these racist black people, and then I got this other breakdown to do about that mama and daughter shit. I'm doing that shit. That bitch is one of the most worst ain't shit bitches I've ever seen. But I couldn't do it because this shit happened today with Trump and these stimulus checks. And I'm just gonna say this. Well, let me go ahead and go to my favorite part of the show. Let my wife, my good thing, and then we're gonna get it cracking. I'm ready to dive all off up in this motherfucker on tonight. Let's go ahead and let's do that. Why is this not? There we go. There go T. Come on, baby. Talk to me.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Hey, my sister, I sent this show to my sister April. She said, get on him, bro. Everybody on his Franken beans now talking about Trump. Let me tell y'all something. I had a conversation with my mother today. Shout out to my moms. I love her so dearly. But we have, unfortunately, different political views. had a conversation. This was before this happened about Trump today, and I didn't want to do it, but I had to. I painted my mama into a corner today in our conversation, to where you know when you know what you're doing and you debating somebody and you talking and you coming with them facts and you coming with all of the just the knowledge, and it gets to the point to where you got your magazine loaded up and let me tell you, let me show you something. I just got this at the gun show the other day. So normally I hit people off with a regular magazine. 16, 17 rounds or whatever in the magazine. Like my Glock or where my 40 at? Where my Glock 40 at? So I'm talking to my mama today. We talk for about an hour and a half. About an hour and 15 minutes. We talking. So normally this is what I usually have. I have this is a Glock 22, and I take the Glock 22 carries 15 rounds in one in the chamber. So it's 16 rounds. This what I usually is sufficient enough to hit somebody off with. You're talking, telling me these are fact bullets. All these bullets in here represent facts. I hit you with the bang, 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 bang. Usually, I only use about a half a clip. I only hit you with about 4 or 5 of them, 6 or 7 of them, maybe 8 if I'm just really, really, really feeling good. But today, I'm on the phone with my mama so long, I did not hit her with this magazine. I hit her with this one. I gave it to my mama. Yes, I gave her 31 rounds of facts. And she was like, well, son, I see your point. I said, Mama, you realize that you are doing one of the very things you taught me not to do? You said you are literally against somebody just because of your feelings. You just disregarding all facts. And this is why I love my mama. Because even though she got her position and she believe what she believes, she don't care what I believe. She don't care what I believe. She don't care what I believe. She admitted it. She said, well, you right. I just feel the way I feel about it. And yes, I'm in my feelings. And I know I'm entitled to my feelings. I said, but Mama, that's wrong. I said, and that's what people don't understand. It's about your moral compass at that point. It's about your righteousness at that point. And it's like the more it seems, and here's my thing. It seems to me the more that this dude has been in office, for me anyway, it's been such an eye-opening experience to just see. I didn't think that we as Black folks were willing to participate in this type of immoral behavior and to be this blind, and not to be blind, but to turn a blind eye to this type of injustice. I did not, I promise you, in 2020, with everything that has happened, I did not think that we as Black folks would be this just intentionally immoral and just turning a blind eye against clear facts. For a group of people that have been so disenfranchised, a group of people that have just claimed to be mistreated and to just have been totally disavowed by this country time and time again, generation after generation, I did not think that when we as Black folks were presented with the truth, that we would still turn a blind eye to it for the sole purpose and to just satisfy our feelings. Our feelings. Fuck what's right. Fuck what's justice. Fuck what's righteousness. We're saying fuck the moral values. We're supposed to be Christians. Fuck all that. We gonna do what we want to do because we don't want to be wrong and we want to feel good. And I just did not think that we were that gone and that irresponsible and just totally against responsibility and accountability as a people. I didn't think we were this bad. And this year has revealed that. I'm okay
with my friend circle being gotten, because my friend circle is shrunk, I'm okay with that. That's how life goes. Time, progression. It's organic. Some friends come, some friends go, some friends stay for a reason, some friends in your life for a season, some friends are in your life for a lifetime. I'm okay with that. But the general populace, people that I don't know, that I see on the internet, that I see on social media, are so insisting upon making this the right move that they will do everything wrong to try to prove that they're right. And that's disturbing to me. Very disturbing to me. It's saddening to me. The whole thing about just and that's one of the reasons why I wore my Avenger shit today. Being cursed with knowledge. Y'all hear this? It's a real thing. It's a true thing. Knowledge is a curse. But once you know, you know. That's just how it is. And I totally understand that there is a certain bit of isolation that comes along with it. I understand that there's a loneliness that comes along with it, just like how they say in the presidents. I've heard multiple presidents say this. There's a certain just aspect of loneliness that comes with that job. And I can say that about knowledge. The more you know, especially when you have a good heart and you are a righteous person, to know what it is to be true and to then have to speak up against the greater majority of that which is wrong, it can be quite taxing. It really can. I think about how when people see certain injustices and don't say nothing. I see how when people, they see a group of people believing one thing or saying one thing or doing one particular thing that they know isn't right in themselves and say nothing. They turn a blind eye to it. Unfortunately for me, I'm not that guy. I'm not that type of guy. I'm not that type of guy. I'm just not. And it's okay, but it is a thing to where I even realized, and I was talking to my brother Eric about this the other day. Shout out to my boy Easy. I was talking to him the other day. I said, man, I really thought about this. I said, and everything that I do, on here, on the show and stuff, I said, I really don't have a dog in this fight to some degree. He said, what you mean? I said, my job and I could just do my job and work my job every day, put my head down, put my blinders on, and really wouldn't miss a beat. I said, but the only reason why I do it is because I'm doing it for my children, my children's children, and my children's children's children. Because when this is looked back on some 20, 30, 40 years later, I want my children to be able to look at this and see that their grandfather was on the right side of this. So all my grandbabies, my great grandbabies, y'all ain't here yet because it's 2020, and I love y'all dearly. I love y'all dearly. And your grandfather was doing the right thing back then, right now, today. And that's why I want y'all to do the right thing right now, today, in your time. So, with that being said, shout out to my seeds. I done went all the way in the future. I done went 40 years in the future talking to my seeds. I love it. I love it. All right, let's go ahead and let's get into this. So, for those of you who don't know, Donald Trump and the Trump administration have been trying to get a stimulus package passed since the summer, first and foremost. Now, let's go back a little bit. Do you remember there was a time when Trump did the first tax cut, and the tax cut was on average gave everybody like $1,000? So y'all remember when Trump put some money back on everybody's check for those of us that's working? The tax cuts that he did gave everybody roughly about an extra $1,000. Okay, when that happened, Nancy Pelosi, and you'll see footage of that tonight, was on national TV, and she said $1,000 is nothing but crumbs to the people. It's a slap in the face because it's crumbs for the people. That's what she said. So it came out her mouth. Nancy Pelosi and her wonderful Congress, they have been blocking this stimulus package that Trump has been trying to get Congress to put together and to pass. They've been trying to do this since the summer because Trump wanted to get the stimulus package passed and get more money into people's hands before the election, which I totally get. It helps and bolsters your case. I understand that. And it puts you in favor with the people. Hell, you give me $2,000, $1,200, whatever. Hey, I'm at least listening to what you got to say. So he was trying to do this. Nancy Pelosi specifically, ceased negotiations with the administration altogether because she intentionally wanted to make the president wait, or she wanted to make the stimulus package wait until after the election. She wanted to help. She played politics with the people's well-being and the people's money. Sat on it. Yes, Eric, sat on it on purpose. Said, fuck the everyday working man. Fuck the everyday people that are getting up, going to work. All of the first responders that they always talk all this shit about. Oh, our first responders. That bitch didn't give a fuck about none of us. She said, fuck that. I want to make him look bad, and I'm going to do it by not negotiating. Nobody called down on it. Well, they talked about it, but nobody said anything to her about it to say, bitch, you done lost your mind. We ain't voting for your ass no more. None of them did. All of the fucking congressmen, all of the fucking people that were in the House, Democrats and Republicans alike, all of you motherfuckers that didn't say nothing about it and let that bitch do this. There were people who are, and at that time were still suffering, broke. I can't tell you how many lines I've seen outside of churches and food banks to where people are hungry because they don't have jobs anymore. So when people think, oh man, it ain't too bad, you just got to stay in the house. Oh, it ain't too bad, you just got to wear your mask. Let me tell you something. The fallout from this is just the beginning. Y'all wait, and mark my words, I've been saying this. Y'all wait until after the fourth quarter is over with. Y'all wait until we start rolling into March, and y'all start seeing all of these businesses close up. Y'all start seeing all of these companies start to go belly up. Watch. They are literally holding on by threads right now because this is the fourth quarter and they're trying to grab as much money as they possibly can. That's why ain't nobody talking about closing their doors. That's why those that can. There have been plenty that have already done it, but they are holding on by a thread. Trust me. And when these numbers don't come back in like they thought, and with them talking about doing a mandatory shutdown, it's going to bring us to our knees. Just saying. So, with all of that being said, now, after the election, Pelosi said, yeah, I'm ready to negotiate now. Let's go ahead. Let's do it. Let's get it done. What Trump asked for was $2,000. I believe he initially said he wanted it to go up from $1,200 to $1,800. And then later, I think, changed it to $2,000, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, that's what he charged Congress with. Congress then came back with a bill that was $1.6 trillion. $1.6 trillion, which would bring the total now with the 5.2, it'll bring it to like 6.8, almost $7 trillion, not billion. $7 trillion that they're about to spend of the taxpayers' hard-earned money, which we technically really don't have. That's a whole nother show. But that's what they did. And here's what he said about it when he saw the American people was getting $600 out of this 1.6 billion. Well, actually, right now they only have on the table 900 billion, almost $1 trillion, and the other 6.7, the other 600 billion hasn't even been allocated yet.
Throughout the summer, Democrats cruelly blocked COVID relief legislation in an effort to advance their extreme left-wing agenda and influence the election. Then, a few months ago, Congress started negotiations on a new package to get urgently needed help to the American people. It's taken forever. However, the bill they are now planning to send back to my desk is much different than anticipated. It really is a disgrace. For example, among the more than 5,000 pages in this bill, which nobody in Congress...
It's actually over 5,500. I think it's 5,563 pages in a bill. Now you ask, why would Congress write a 5,000 page? Let me ask you something. Have you ever heard of anything being 5,000 pages? Is there a book in existence? I'm not a big avid reader. Is there a book in existence that's 5,000 pages? Somebody please educate me. 5,000 page bill. That's insane. Who the fuck can read or has time to read 5,500 pages? They said 6,583. Right. How the fuck do you even carry that book around, DJ? I've heard of a page. I've heard of a book being 500 pages. I've heard of a book being 1,000 pages. I've never heard of any document that's 5,000, damn near 6,000 pages. 5,900 pages. That's insane. But why do you write that? Because you know nobody will ever read it.
Read because of its length and complexity. It's called the COVID relief bill, but it has almost nothing to do with COVID. This bill contains $85.5 million for assistance to Cambodia.
$85.5 million going to Cambodia. Did y'all hear that? $85.5 billion going to Cambodia. Why is my first question. 85 billion. Matter of fact, we're gonna keep a tally going on this. We're gonna add all this up together so we can show them so I can show y'all just how stupid they think we are and how much they just really don't give a fuck. So we say 85.5. That's the first one.
$134 million to Burma, $1.3 billion for Egypt and the Egyptian military, which will go out and to Burma. $85.5 million for assistance to Cambodia. 130.
He said 85. Hold on. $85.5 million. Then he said 134 million.
$34 million to Burma.
What the fuck is in fucking Burma? What's there? What is it what do we have? What invested interest do we have with 85 million going to where?
$5 million for assistance to Cambodia. Bill.
Cambodia.
But it has almost nothing to.
What interest do we have in Cambodia? That's insane. Cambodia getting 85 million for COVID relief out of a COVID relief bill.
To do with COVID. This bill contains $85.5 million for assistance to Cambodia, $134 million to Burma, $1.3 billion for Egypt.
Wow. He said $134 million to Burma. Can somebody please tell me what the fuck is in Burma? What are we even doing with Burma? Tell me what is in Burma to where they gonna get $134 million. What the fuck is in Burma? What the fuck is in Cambodia? And then he about to say what?
And the Egyptian military assistance to Cambodia. $134 million to Burma. $1.3 billion for Egypt and the Egyptian.
$1.3 billion to Egypt. Seriously.
Egyptian military, which will go out and buy almost exclusively Russian military equipment.
Seriously. To Egypt, who gonna then take that 1.3 billion and go buy Russian weapons. Burma is, they got rice in Burma. My cousin West said they got rice there. They got rice. I just bought a 25-pound bag of rice, and it was what's that good rice you're supposed to eat? Not brown rice, but the jasmine rice. Yeah, I think it's jasmine rice. I just bought a 25-pound bag of jasmine rice, and it was $17. $18, man. It was $17.79 or some shit like that. How much rice can you buy with $834 million? Jesus Christ. How much rice are we going to buy? We're not even buying from them. We just giving it to them. And they gonna do what? This is insane.
$25 million for democracy and gender programs in Pakistan.
Now, this was the one that pissed me the fuck off. I was just confused with the first three. When them motherfuckers said $25 million for gender research for Pakistan. They're going to give $25 million, not for us. They're giving $25 million to Pakistan for them to do gender research. Are you fucking kidding me?
$505 million military equipment. $25 million for democracy and gender programs in Pakistan.
Democracy and gender programs and gender. Let me make sure I spell that. Yeah, gender. In Pakistan. In Pakistan. 25 million.
$505 million to Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala.
Did y'all hear that? That's $500 million. Over $500 million. 505 million.
Guatemala, Honduras, and Pakistan. $505 million to Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama. $40 million.
Belize, Costa Rica, Guatemala. What was the other?
For the Kennedy Center. For the Kennedy Center in Washington or Guatemala, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala. $505 million to Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama. $40 million for the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., which is not even open for business. For the Kennedy Center in $40 million for Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama. $40 million.
$40 million.
For the Kennedy Center.
Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. I know this for a fact. If I'm not mistaken, they gave something like $600 million or something like that to the Kennedy Center in the other stimulus package. If I'm not mistaken, if somebody can look it up real quick, they gave the Kennedy Center, some Kennedy Museum or some shit like that, they gave them a few $100 million in that other stimulus package. $40 million for the Kennedy Center that ain't even fucking open now. Seriously. Who the fuck needs to go to the Kennedy Center anyway? What the fuck is in the Kennedy Center? I don't know.
Washington, D.C., which is not even open for business. $1 billion for the Smithsonian.
$1 billion for the Smithsonian. I guess they need to repair the Smithsonian from all that shit that Jetfire tore up when they was trying to find him to find the Matrix. And he came out that motherfucker and tore some shit up. They got to fix that shit. Jetfire! Are you kidding me?
And an additional 100 D.C., which is not even open for business.
Shit ain't even open
$1
for
billion
business.
for the
$1 billion for the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian.
Smithsonian, and an additional $154 million for the National Gallery of Art.
The National Gallery. He said 150 million. Make sure I get that right.
Of art for the Smithsonian, and an additional $154 million.
Yep, 154 million.
For the National Gallery of Art. Likewise, these facilities are essentially not open. $7 million for reef fish management.
You hear this shit? Do y'all hear this shit? What the fuck? $7 million for reef? What?
$25 million to combat Asia. $1 million for reef fish management.
Reef?
$25 million to combat
Reef fish management. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is? Yes, the Smithsonian is a museum. It's a museum that got a whole that shit is in fucking Washington. It's in the Washington D.C. area, and they got a bunch of old shit like the goddamn the spaceship is in there and all that shit. But what the fuck is reef fish management? And why does it cost $7 million? Come on, man. Hey, Chris, a lot of museums do get private grants and donations, but a lot of it is funded by usually the local government. Your city or your state will usually fund the shit that goes on in your museum. The other part to that is, too, most museums, you pay an admission fee to get in. You go to the Museum of Science and Industry, you got to pay to get in that motherfucker. You go to the Field Museum in Chicago, you got to pay to get in that motherfucker.
reef fish management. $25 million to combat Asian carp. $2.5 million.
$25 million to combat Asian carp fish. $25 million. Seriously.
$1 million to count the number of amberjack fish. To combat
what?
Asian carp. $2.5 million.
$2.5 million.
To count the number of amberjack fish.
To count amberjack fish.
What the fuck is an amberjack fish? And why do we need to count them? Why do we need to count these fish? Are you fucking shitting me? We need to now count amberjack fish. I gotta Google that shit. Amberjack is an Atlantic and Pacific fish in the genus Cereola of the family Caradidae. They are a game fish, most often found in warmer parts of the ocean. So it's a fish you fucking eat. It's many variations of amberjack fish, including greater amberjack, lesser amberjack, almaco jack, yellowtail, and banded rooterfish. And we need to count these motherfuckers. Why? This shit says, what does amberjack fish taste like? It has no taste in it on its own of its own. It tastes like the seasoning or breading used in cooking. Amberjack is a strong, fishy tasting fish and is usually not served as fresh fish. Rather, it is served smoked or as a fish dip. The best fish you can buy in the panhandle are pompano, redfish, or red snapper. They be eating that in Jamaica. The red snapper, man. This is utterly fucking ridiculous. A fucking fish that you literally just catch. This is ridiculous, man.
In the Gulf of Mexico, a provision to promote the breeding of fish in federal Mexico, a provision to promote the jackfish in the Gulf of Mexico, a provision to promote the breeding of fish in federal hatcheries, $3 million in poultry production technology, $2 million to research the
$3 million for poultry. What? Poultry technology. Now, I do like my chicken. So if this research and technology is to make sure that we keep the flow of chicken coming, I'm cool with I'm willing to sign for and approve that line of the budget. I'm willing to approve that line that line 35 for 3 million for poultry technology. I'm okay with that one.
Production technology.
Yeah, poultry
$2 million to research
technology.
The impact of down trees.
Poultry production. Then it said $2 million to research down trees. What the fuck is a down tree? Is that like a tree with Down syndrome? The tree got like a weird looking bark or something on it? What the fuck is going on, man?
$566 million for...
God damn, I thought the numbers was getting smaller to go away. Hold on, man. God
construction
damn.
Projects at the FBI. Impact of down trees. 5 technology. $2 million to research the impact of down trees. $566 million for construction projects.
$500. Did he say 56?
At the FBI. Construction projects at the FBI. $566 million for construction projects at the FBI. The bill also allows stimulus checks for the family members of illegal aliens.
Wow. Construction at the FBI. I wonder who gonna get that fucking contract. I wonder who's gonna get that contract. $566 million. Oh, excuse me. That's ridiculous.
allowing them to get up to $1,800 each. This is far more than the Americans are given.
Wow.
Despite all of this wasteful spending and much more, the $900 billion package provides hardworking taxpayers with only $600 each in relief payments. And not enough money is given to small businesses, and in particular restaurants, whose owners have suffered so grievously. They were only given a deduction for others to use in business their restaurant for 2 years. This 2-year period must be withdrawn.
Make sure you guys click that like button, click the subscribe button if it's your first time over here, and click that donate button. Matter of fact, let me post that, pin that link to the top of the chat.
Which will allow the owners to obtain financing and get their restaurants back in condition. Congress can terminate it at a much later date, but 2 years is not acceptable. It's not enough. Congress found plenty of money for foreign countries, lobbyists, and special interests while sending the bare minimum to the American people who need it. It wasn't their fault. It was China's fault, not their fault. I am asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple. I'm also asking Congress to immediately get rid of the wasteful and unnecessary items from this legislation and to send me a suitable bill, or else the next administration will have to deliver a COVID relief package, and maybe that administration will be me, and we will get it done. Thank you very much.
Boom. Motherfuckers. Now, here's my thing, and this is part of my whole thing about, for all of y'all anti-Trump, I hate Trump, Trump ain't shit, Trump is this, Trump is that, Trump the reason why my bills ain't paid, Trump the reason why I got gonorrhea, whatever you want to blame Trump for, to all of you motherfuckers. He's fighting for who now? He's fighting for who? Who is he fighting for right now? And here's another little caveat. Now, y'all know that y'all been hearing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris with their transition team, and all they've been doing is talking about all the shit that Trump has been doing wrong. They talking about how they need to hit the ground running and all that shit. They ain't said not one peep about this motherfucking shit here. Have they? The actual bill that's going to actually put money into your hands to feed your family, pay your bills, they telling you to take $600 and do that. Who has a lifestyle to where they can pay their, and please let me know if I'm wrong. If you in the chat and you have a lifestyle to where you can pay your basic necessities, your rent or your mortgage, provide yourself with food, and your basic utilities. Light, gas, if you got it combined or whatever, electric or whatever, if that's how you got it, to pay for your basic utilities and including the internet. The internet is a utility, goddammit, ain't your phone bill. Tell me what household you can do that with $600 for 1 month. I'll wait. What household, what person has a household to where they can pay their bills and be able to just have the basic necessities to survive, to live? Which person can do that with $600? Right. G Friend says Section 8 people. Look here. I don't know of any household. I'm talking a 1-bedroom studio in the lowest of the lowest neighborhoods. It's going to be at least $500. You know what they had the audacity to tell you with this money? What they had the audacity to say? They said to take the $600 that you're getting, only pay your essential bills, your rent or whatever, and then buy your food and save the rest. Here's a news flash. There is no rest, Nancy. There isn't anything left. If you pay one of those bills, the money is gone. If I pay my utilities, or if I pay, and we're not even talking about your car note, your insurance. We're not even talking about that. Average car note got to be at least down there $400, $300 if you got something that's not as expensive. Easy. Exactly. You find an apartment that's under $500. Let me tell you something, man. It's some slow singing and firework bringing going on that motherfucking neighborhood. Because it is in just that. The hood. The hood. It's insane to even think. And it just goes to show you, and a lot of people would think, oh, well, they just out of touch. They're not out of touch. They are in, I don't give a fuck. Because they don't. No matter what you say, no matter what you think, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and all the rest of them motherfuckers, they all go home to their lavish suburban mansions. All of them. All of them. While you getting up at 3 a.m. to get your kids ready so you can drop them off at daycare at 6 so you can be on the bus and on your way to work because you got to be there at 7, they're still asleep. By the time you taking your first break at your job, they're just now waking up and eating breakfast that was made for them by their personal chef or their maid. By the time you go to lunch, they've been at work for maybe an hour, hour and a half, or 2 hours. And then they're getting ready to go to lunch. By the time you get back from lunch, they're going to lunch. Just saying. It's not that they're out of touch. They're into, I don't give a fuck. That's literally what they're into. We don't care. We're going to take care of our lobbyists. We're going to take care of Big Pharma. We're going to take care of Big Tech. We are going to support those groups, these corporations, all of these people that have been lining our pockets with money.
Just moments ago, President Trump called on Congress to amend the COVID-19 bill to include $2,000 stimulus checks. Watch this.
I'm asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple.
So,
Insane.
okay, that just happened moments ago. Let's bring in our panel. Mark Thiessen, American Enterprise Institute scholar.
And here's my thing. It's like when you take what this bill is and you take what's going on with the people, what are we here for? What are we trying to do? Are you here to just help those people that have been lining your pockets to get even more money, to take even more money? Are you here to just help them and just say fuck everybody and everything else? I think so. Because if you ask any of them to go and live a life to where they live on $600 a month, they'd probably, and hear me when I say this because it's true, they'd probably rather die and kill themselves than to actually live on $600 a month. They couldn't cut it. Oh, Joe Biden, I'm from Scranton. Couldn't cut it. He's so far removed from $600 a month. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. So it's like when you're talking about these people that are supposed to be representing us, not these fucking corporations, not these big fucking companies, not these fucking interest groups, not these fucking lobbyists. They're not here to work for them. We're literally paying them to work for us, and all they can come back with is $600 for us. They didn't even have enough respect to give us the same amount they gave us last time. They cut it in half. That ain't a we can't do this. That's a fuck you, we're doing this.
Roy Murdoch, contributing editor at National Review Online, and Raymond Arroyo, author of The Spider Who Saved Christmas, all our Fox News contributors. Great to have.
Didn't that dude look like Pinocchio for some reason? He looks scary. I once had strings, but now I'm free. There are no strings on me. Look at that dude on the end there. He looks like he is not a real boy.
Let's go down the line here. Mark, first of all, your response to this news, good to have you, that the president has gone back to asking for something that he asked for much earlier on in this process, which was $2,000 checks across the board as part of this bill. What do you think?
So weird.
We're not going to get $2,000 checks. The reality is that they've been trying to pass this since July. Despite the fact that they agreed on almost every element of it in some way, shape, or form, but only we're able to do this now. You can argue with pieces of it. Not everybody likes every part of it. But one, I don't think $2,000 checks are justified, and two, I don't.
He said he don't think $2,000 checks are justified. He don't think $2,000 checks are justified, but he said I guess he's in agreement with $85.5 million to Cambodia, $134 million. Let's add this up.
I think there's any chance that Congress is going to do this.
Yeah. So, Roy, why do you think the president's calling for this tonight? What's behind it in your mind?
Well, I think he's disappointed that the amount of money given out in checks is smaller than he wanted. I think he wanted $1,800 or $1,200. I think it was just a couple months ago, and that was rejected. Now we're down to $600. What I'd like to see is some targeted relief for restaurants. The restaurant industry is aching. I live in New York City. I'm actually right now sitting just outside of a wonderful old restaurant called Bar Bacon that's now dead and has been dead for months. Every restaurant on this block is kaput. They really should get some help because they've been told, sorry, you can't do any business, and a lot of them have just either gone kaput or just barely holding on. And I think some targeted tax relief would be great. Like how about no corporate tax the rest of this year, and don't pay your payroll tax until middle of next year, something like that. Some things of that sort would help more than I think just sort of blanket checks.
So, Raymond, one of the things that I think is so frustrating for people who watch this process is that we were basically around where we are now last summer. But Nancy Pelosi refused to.
So check this out. That comes to 1.5. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. I didn't add the billions. So right now, so that's 1.5 plus. Yeah, that's. I'm sorry. Let me add that on there. Plus 13, and then there was another billion on there, wasn't it? Yep, plus. That's $3.8 billion. All that shit that they just added up. Now we're talking about 900 billion. That right there was $3.8 billion. That shit he just ran off. Excuse me. So that's not even the bulk of the bill. Not even the bulk of it. But he ran off $3.8 billion that quick. And all we getting is 600. And none of that is going to benefit any people directly. Why wouldn't you give that $3.8 billion to the people, as Bain would say? That's insane, dude.
Negotiate on this deal. I mean, there's no other way to look at it than to assume that she simply did not want anything to pass before the election, because she now got the same deal she wanted then, basically.
Right.
And she called roughly around $600 pathetic when it came to the tax cut.
Yep.
Now she says it's a substantial amount
See there? She remembered that shit. She called that shit pathetic.
of money.
Well, but
Raymond.
Martha, this ends up being the lobbyist relief stimulus. That's what this ends up being. And the president tonight, is calling Nancy Pelosi and the Senate on this. I mean, when you've got, and he called it out, when you've got $1 billion for the Smithsonian, $10 million for gender programs in Pakistan, why aren't we giving that relief to these restaurateurs as
Listen to Pinocchio. He's telling the truth, which is strange because Pinocchio's a lying little motherfucker. But I guess grown-up Pinocchio tells the truth.
Roy said a moment ago, 50% of the restaurants here in New Orleans are about to shut down. They urgently need help. This is the moment. And for Congress to fritter away this opportunity and to give payola to these lobbyists, it's disgusting under the veil of helping the American people escape the COVID pain.
Yeah, I just want to remind people, Mark, that there is $1.6 trillion. So we've done with this new package, about $5 trillion of stimulus. 1.6 trillion of it has not been allocated yet. And yet we've just signed up for another whole package. I mean, try to explain that to people. If they took out, a 1.6 million, $160,000
Yeah, he
loan,
does
right?
look like Pee Wee Herman. He does.
And they didn't spend any of it, but they're going to go back and get a lot more at that point. It just defies good common sense, Mark.
Shout out to Snake Radio Custom Builds and Mods. Hit your boy up with $20. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. We got $20. Let me see. I actually got a couple of super chats. Let me shout y'all out too. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to my man Flapjack. Hit your boy off with $10. Thank you. He said for great content. Also, my man Like a Boss. Hit your boy off with $1. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate it.
Well, like anytime you're trying to do something this big and get Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell and President Trump on the same page, there's going to be lots of stuff in there that shouldn't be in there from both perspectives.
Here's my thing, though. It's like they are so, I guess, fucking bold. They just so bold with the shit. They like, fuck y'all. Yes, we gonna give this motherfucking money to all these motherfuckers. And y'all ain't gonna do shit about it.
But here's the reality. The Paycheck Protection Program, which is the most important part of this bill, literally saved the American economy when it was passed in the CARES Act. And the reality is right now, we were in the worst part of the pandemic that we've had. Democratic governors like Andrew Cuomo and Gavin Newsom are shutting down restaurants and forcing people out of work. And people need this money in order to make it over to the next year. Keep in mind, this is all going to come to an end.
And not to mention, we in the middle of the holiday season, and they playing these type of dope fiend games. Playing games. With the money that we should be getting, they're playing games with it. Insane.
We've got the vaccine. The people are going to be all the at-risk population is going to be vaccinated by next spring, and the worst of this is going to be over. So we just need to get through the next few months and keep those businesses afloat so that the American economy can survive.
DeRoy, I just heard you piping in there. I just want to give you a chance to respond.
Yeah, well, I think, Mark makes a good point that we have not just one vaccine, but two. By the way, it is amazing that so many people who are have yelled at President Trump for being incompetent, doesn't know what he's doing, obviously a buffoon. Somehow this guy who has no idea what he's doing was able to bring us not one, but two vaccines in about 9 months since the...
What? Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Okay. Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Did you hear that? That motherfucker said he bought you not one but two motherfucking vaccines.
Emergency was declared.
More on the way.
That's, yeah, it's a biological Manhattan project, and that's amazing. And I think we can get to the point where people are vaccinated. Most.
Now, mind you, I ain't taking that goddamn vaccination, but the fact still remains he was able to do it. That's what the people wanted, and he got it for he delivered. 10 times out of 10, like Shaft.
This will be behind us. We just need the economy to continue until that time.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Martha,
I keep
they're
hearing
not
people on the
saying
street,
it's over.
saying, oh, well, when we get back to normal, right? Go ahead, Raymond. And then I want to ask you guys about the pardons that just came in. But go ahead, Raymond.
Yeah. Joe Biden today and Nancy Pelosi said this is just the beginning, Martha. They're expecting another relief package on the back end of this. So there's more coming, no matter the vaccines. And that's what concerns the president tonight. I think that concerns a lot of taxpayers, and I'm infuriated over it.
Yeah. Well, what we need is to get things open and get people back to work and back to school and all of those good things. And some of this stimulus will start to take care of itself, and it will be, a really beautiful thing when people get back to their lives, because I think that's really what they want more than anything. Mark,
I agree.
Pardons tonight for several people, including George Papadopoulos, who had a.
Ain't George Papadopoulos Webster daddy from the show Webster? I didn't know he was locked up. He was a football player, right? And then he became Webster's adoptive parent, adoptive daddy on the show. That's what I thought that was.
He drinks at a bar one night and talked to someone who used to do some spy work for Australia and perhaps some other agencies closer to home. He has been pardoned, and so has Duncan Hunter. Your thoughts?
Certainly, Papadopoulos deserved a pardon. This whole Russia collusion conspiracy theory. We spent tens of millions of dollars in 2 years chasing what turned out to be nothing but a conspiracy theory, and he was at the heart of it. So that's without question, that's deserved.
DeRoy?
I agree. I happen to read George Papadopoulos' book, which I recommend everybody in the audience, and just read about this idealistic young man who wanted to work for President Trump and just found himself in the middle of what seemed to be a real-life spy novel with all these people claiming that he was working for the Kremlin and the Mossad and all that, and he was just a guy trying to get a man elected president, ended up in jail, and I'm glad he got pardoned, and I hope he turns around and sues all the people who are involved and gets a nice big fat cash payment for all of his tremendous undeserved inconvenience and lack of freedom.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable when you look back at just the incredible wreaking of havoc on these people's lives, and Carter Page as well. Raymond, what do you think when you look at this? Just before Christmas, some pardons sprinkled around, George Papadopoulos and Duncan Hunter.
All right, that's enough of that. Let me tell you how I really feel about this. It's one thing to have an agenda and to use an emergency to address the agenda that you have at hand. I get that. It's fucked up, but it makes sense. I understand it. You're trying to get something that you want, and you're trying to use an opportunity to get it. You're trying to capitalize on the situation. Hence, because we're capitalists. The thing is this. The problem is this. We got to fix it. Check out the justice and how they run it. They decided to give, and hear this, your politicians, your congressmen, they put together a bill to where they were willing to give other countries and frivolous departments of research. They were willing to give them $3.8 billion as opposed to giving you 2,000 of your tax dollars that you pay for them to do the things that you think that they think are best. The disrespect alone in that is a huge problem. And yes, no brass, I love Trump's speech too, but I loved it for the simple fact that he called out the bullshit. He wasn't, most politicians, and this is why I don't like fucking politicians. I like real people that go into politics. Because I can see through your fucking mask. And my thing is like, most presidents would just say, we're still negotiating. There's some things in the bill that I'm not comfortable with. And I think we have a lot, definitely some more time and a long way to go. I'm trying to get the American people more money, and would have left it alone. They wouldn't have ran off the whole road like he did. He ran off the road and said, first of all, they bullshitting us. The damn document is damn near 6,000 pages. That lets you know it's fuck shit number one. And it takes fucking half of a quarter of a fucker's life to read through the shit. That's number one. Number two to that is the money that they have in there that they're allocating to all of these different places. Answer me this or riddle me this, Batman. Who's going to actually follow up to make sure that that money has not only gotten into the right hands, but has been allocated the right way? Because these are technically government funds. Who's going to be in charge of that? Who's going to be responsible for that? And who's actually going to do it correctly? They're not going to do anything but check off a few boxes and clear a few lines in the federal on the federal side of things and let that shit go. Just saying. And I think that that is the biggest problem that I have, is the fact that they are willing to make and let us as American people suffer, as opposed to just giving us what we need to actually stimulate the economy. You can't stimulate the economy with a $600 check. Ask George Bush. You can't stimulate the economy with a $300 check. Bush was passing out $300. Then I think they came back with like another 200 or maybe another 300. But they said stimulus package, $300. Trump put together a stimulus package, $1,200. He tried to put together the second stimulus package. He want to get us $2,000. Why is it that the racist white man trying to get us more money, while the Democrats who's supposed to be looking out for us, who we should vote for unless we ain't black, are giving us less than half of the money that we had before? $500. $600. Who is the actual racist? Who is the person that we saying, this is why we hate Trump? We should hate Trump for this. Trump is a racist. He is a racist. He is a racist. Well, if the racist motherfucker want to put $2,000 in my hand, then damn it, thank you, Mr. Racist. We as people have got to stop listening to the shit we see on TV and taking it as fucking biblical law. Do some research. Ask some questions, even when it don't sound right. Because that means something. That's how you can actually bring about change, by starting off with just questioning what is the current status quo. Just saying. And my other part, and I'll end it with this. We should be outraged at this. We should be pissed off to the highest of pistivity about this. Because anytime your government officials are spending $3.8 billion and only gonna give you $600, you should all have a problem with that. That ain't no racist thing. That ain't no black thing. That ain't no white thing. That's a money thing. And the only people that ain't complaining about this shit are your billionaires and your super elite rich. Telling you. Have the wherewithal to start questioning this shit and to say, hey, wait a minute. I may not like you, but you're telling the truth. Hey, wait a minute. I may not like you, but I'm going to research what you just said, because if that is true, it's fucked up out here. We have to put ourselves in a position to where people won't have the audacity to do this type of shit, because they know we're going to say something. But when they know all we got to do is pay a little something here, promise one of their people, one of their relatives a little job over there, give them a nice high-paying salary so they can establish themselves in their life, make some phone calls for them to get hooked up with some property, get hooked up with some luxury cars and all that type of shit. I'm just telling you, people, we have to get on the same page to where it's about us taking care of us so that we can build our very own. That's it. We need our own. And the only way we're going to do that is by standing up when motherfuckers like this are just mistreating us and mistreating our funds and mismanaging our funds for their own fucking personal vendettas and to keep them right where they want us. Because you know what them Democrats want us? They want us on the floor at the table that they sit at. And they literally want to be able to go and give us not the scraps, but the scraps they want us to have. Pakistan come to the table at the floor. Oh no, come up here, Pakistan. We got 85 million for you. I mean 25 million for you. Yeah, go do your gender research stuff. Go do whatever you want to do. That's fine. Get out of my face, Packy. And that's what they do. And I'm telling you, it's all because they want to be able to control you. They want this shit to break all the way down, y'all. Because the more it breaks, the more dependent and desperate you are on the government. And you see how quick that 1,200 got cut to 6? Imagine when everybody is damn near on. Imagine when it's 35 million added to welfare. Imagine what that does for just the government itself. We get another 30 million people to get on welfare because they ain't got shit. Now what? We got them in our system. They're totally dependent on us and our food stamp. They can't do shit else without it. Either that or commit crimes or try to start a business. And we have to be the ones to say, hey, look, what's happened has happened. We are now interested in what's going to work best for us. I understand this guy may be a rapist. This guy may be a racist. This guy may not like black people. This guy may only like Hispanic people. We need to be able to say, we're going to do what's best for us. I hear what you're saying you want to do for us. That ain't what we're here to do. We ain't here to teach you about black folks. We ain't here to teach you how we do shit. We ain't here to do none of that. We are here to get what it is that's going to work best for us. That's it. That is it. We want what is working best for us. And if you are in support of that, fine. We don't need to deal with you. That's it. But I'm telling you, it is so shocking to me to see people that I know are straight up Democrats, straight up liberals, and just will not even go and speak out against this. They not the very same people that you motherfuckers voted for that's in Congress now. Y'all should be outraged. Y'all should be sending them letters, sending them emails. I voted for you. How dare you only fight to give me $600 when you giving $3.8 billion away to other countries? How dare you? How dare you? That's all I got to say about that, man. I want to say thank you to everybody that came and joined the show. Thank you to everybody that clicked the like button. We got them likes up. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that took the time to just watch little old me on my little old YouTube channel. I appreciate every last one of you. I hope that this video helped somebody become a better version of themselves. I hope that this video helped somebody to actually start to speak out and question what the fuck is going on. I hope that this video helps somebody say, hey, look, I need to start being concerned about what's going to work best for me and my people, as opposed to saying, oh, I don't like this person because of how they make me feel. Oh, I don't like that person because he a racist. We have to move beyond that, people. I understand what happened in the past, and yes, I believe that history will repeat itself if you don't do what's best. I get it. But the past has to be acknowledged. not harped on and remixed every single day. I was in a chat room with some people today, and I'm out of here after this. And they were talking about how, I mean, with passion and conviction, how what white folks did to us when we were sharecroppers and my great-great-great-granddaddy, and what white folks did to us as a people, and what white folks did to us as slaves. We was kings and queens, and they took us over here, and they broke us and broke our family. I mean, just total passion. Embodied the whole motherfucking moment with just saying, this is how they did us black people, the repeated systemic racism, the beatings and the rapes, and just went in. And I got on and I said, look, y'all. I said, I understand that what happened, but we can't be the girlfriend that just got out of the bad abusive relationship and get with the new person and just talk about what has happened all the time about every bad thing in their life. Because that gets boring. And it gets to where you disengage and be like, I ain't got time to hear that. I'm telling y'all right now, and I'm going to say it because it's true. White folks are tired of hearing about slavery. How the fuck are we not? And I don't know if there's any white people in the chat tonight that's brave enough to say it. You don't have to. But I know white folks are so tired of niggas talking about slavery and what they great-great-great-great-great-grandparents did to own slaves. They owned slaves. They had a plantation. I just know it. I know it is. It's like, at what point do we say, yes, it happened, it's fucked up beyond anything that we could ever see that's fucked up, but now it's time to move forward and to do a new thing and to focus on not what you gonna do for me and be nice for me. I'm gonna focus on what we need to do to make ourselves better and for us to build something. Because like it or not, truth be told, we the motherfucking people that can create all kind of shit. We can create new phenomenons. We create clothes. We are trendsetters. We know how to build a culture. We've done it time and time again. The jazz renaissance, R&B, hip hop. Just saying. We know how to create and build things that we ourselves can actually use to build our own communities that are functioning and not dependent upon some government official saying, yeah, y'all gonna get this, or no, y'all ain't. That's all I'm saying. Get ourselves to the point where we can have our own, do our own thing. Then when somebody do try to fuck with us, we got every right to defend ourselves, and we'll do it down to the very last man, to the very last drop of blood has been shed. That's what we'll do. Because when you build something yourself and it's yours and you worked for it, you hurt for it, you labor through it, you have a whole different type of love and respect for it. It means something more than what it was. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the donations. Let me just double check one more again. Oh, my man Young King hit me up with $7. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. That's what's up. Thank you guys so much for everybody that donated, everybody that supported the show. Click the like button, click the subscribe button. If you are watching this on the replay, you can still click the like, you can still click the subscribe, and you can also send me a comment and tell me what you think of the show. I love you guys so much. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Shout out to my mods. Thank you guys for always working so hard and doing y'all jobs. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Dre Day. Hit your boy up with the super chat, $4.99. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I just want you guys to realize that even though we may not see eye to eye on everything, it still doesn't mean that we can't find common ground to actually build upon. And I think that's extremely important. Just like last night when I was on Tommy's show, and if you haven't checked it out, if y'all ain't been over there lately, or this, if y'all haven't seen Tommy Sotomayor, go to his channel. He got a new channel called What's Really Going On, the WRGO channel. we were on there and we talked about artists, we talked about movies, we talked about actors, we talked about a myriad of things. But then we got on this thing about talking about Joe Montana and Tom Brady, who the best is as far as the GOAT when it comes to quarterbacks. And we went back and forth for like about 40 minutes. It was very fun. I had a good time. But we then still had common ground to say, even though we on two different sides of the fence, you say Tom Brady's the greatest, I say Joe Montana's the greatest, and we just made our points. But we were able to articulate ourselves to the point to say, hey, we may not agree on this, but other things, even throughout that conversation and that debate, we did agree on, and we acknowledged it. To the point to where even today, when he started his new show on the channel, he actually had done some research and saw where Joe Montana in the playoffs was outstanding. Never thrown a pick. And you know what he came back and said? He said, this is going to help your case, actually. He said, so I'm going to say at least, thank you, CJ Gunn. I'm going to say at least he's the greatest Super Bowl quarterback of all time. He's never thrown an interception in the Super Bowl, in the playoffs. He's ice water, Captain Cool. But the righteousness of that, being fair, even if we disagree, it was like I understood that people have their things about Joe Montana, things got their things about Tom Brady. I love Joe Montana. Love me some Joe Montana. I just do. But that still wasn't a thing where even though we disagreed, we still talked about saying and acknowledge the fact to say, hey, look, these different facts that we have, yeah, you're looking at it this way and I'm looking at it that way. And I even conceded and said, well, you're right. When you're talking about overall, yes. But when you're talking about being in them playoffs, no. Even somebody said something today in the chat about saying, yeah, he was 9 for whatever. And it's like he went 9 times to the Super Bowl. There are a lot of players that never even get to go once. Oh, the guy said, I'd rather be 4-0 in the Super Bowl than to be 6-3. Or was it? I'm sorry. Yeah, 6-3. That's right. He was like, well, I would have rather went to the Super Bowl 9 times for that Super Bowl experience and being able to play in that game, being a part of history, than to go 4 times and just win them 4. Because he's won 6 out of 9. No, Brad says, hell, Brian, I never threw an interception in the Super Bowl either. I guess so. But it just goes to show how cool he was. It goes to show how good of a quarterback he was. And it's just saying in that moment, there are a lot of quarterbacks who will fucking just shit the bed in the Super Bowl. Be terrible. Rex Grossman. But I'm just saying, I ain't gonna, 2005, Rex Grossman. But it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all having a good coming through. I had a good time. I enjoyed myself. Just remember, y'all, it's okay to be different. It's okay to question. And it's okay to ask that why and challenge each other on whatever it is. But where we all want to be at as a baseline, when you see something that's wrong, when you see something that's righteous, acknowledge the righteousness. Shout out to my man Brass Man Taker. Hit your boy off with $5. He said, showing some love. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. That's all I'm saying. Let's stop turning a blind eye to righteousness, to what is correct, what is the right thing to do, regardless of who is presenting it. The truth is the truth. The fact is the fact. Stop saying, oh, I don't like how that person make me feel. That's why I ain't gonna say nothing. That's why I ain't gonna support them. Be better than that. Be a better version of yourself to where the truth matters. To where doing what right, it matters. Shout out to everybody. Happy holidays to you too, Miss Gigi. I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in to the show. Click that like button, click that subscribe button, and stand up on your feet, and let's get up out of here. I appreciate you all. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. It's your boy Brian Redmond. I am Brian Redmond. This is the relationship we have. And also subscribe to United Guns of America. That's my other channel. I love y'all. Peace. And I'm out. I had a good time, y'all. Thank you to all my mods. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Soto Nation. I said Nation. And shout out to my boy, Tommy Sotomayor.